Hello everyone. Today's presentation is about our microfiber line. Now, as you will see, the point of this presentation is to explain exactly what is a microfiber, how it works, and what are the different attributes that you need to be focusing on when trying to sell this product. So, first of all, let's start by answering the first question. What is a microfiber?
Well, first of all, microfiber is a knitted product, machine knitted. Our source of material comes from overseas in China, and it is the components of it is what makes it unique. Microfiber is made of polyester, high percentage polyester, and a small percentage of what we call polyamide. And polyamide gives it its performance. Polyamide is basically a polyester thread that has grooves been created through it. In this particular case, the number of grooves dictates how high quality the microfiber happens to be, and the higher percentage of polyamide in the microfiber will also dictate how good a performance the microfiber will have. So in general, in the marketplace right now, you will find 20% polyamide and 80% polyester is what you find coming out of China. A lot of people will make claims that the Chinese will produce much higher and much lower. Like 99.9% of the stuff coming out of China is an 80-20 blend, and we're basically following suit and following the same percentage that everybody else is carrying. So some will claim higher number of cuts in the microfiber. In our case, it's like 16 cuts in a fiber. Some will claim as high as 32. Usually that has to come from a different country like Korea or where it was originally created in Sweden. You don't usually see much of that in the market. So from a general purpose polyamide based microfiber, we have the industry standard. So what can you do with polyamide? What can you produce? There's different constructions of polyamide, of microfiber. In this particular case, the most popular is what we call a warp knit. Warp knit basically has a finish a lot like a terry cloth, where there's a little bit of looping, it's super soft, and it creates a lot of surfaces. It is by far the most popular style in the marketplace, and you can, if you were to zoom into this, you'll see how the construction is. Lots of surfaces, what we call a terry looping type of construction. And you can tell that if it has polyamide or not. A good way to tell is by just running your hand across it. And as you run your hand across it, the polyamide actually grabs at your calluses, and you can feel it pulling at your calluses as you run your hand off it. A lot of people don't like that feeling. Some people can't work with microfiber because of that. But in terms of giving it performance, those grooves which are grabbing at your calluses will actually also grab at the dirt and trap the dirt within the microfiber cloth, and that is the key feature for microfiber. Now, if you were to do a close-up onto this little diagram that's here, it'll give you a very good idea of what the fiber would look like when you're doing a cross-section of it. So the conventional fiber, you can see, has no grooves for trapping, versus the microfiber polyamide, which has grooves which traps the dirt. So Wipeco presently create the other components of microfiber are the thickness. So the GSM, grams per square meter. In the Orient, they produce anything from a 200 GSM right up to a 350 GSM. Usually you don't see anything below that, and it's very unusual to see anything above that. In our particular case, we've concentrated our efforts on a 260 GSM. Why? For a couple of different reasons. One, to keep the price the best we can in the marketplace, and number two, it is my feeling that the performance is on the outside of the wiper, not on the inside. If it's thicker, the only practical component that thicker microfiber offers is absorption capacity. But the performance, the ability to pick up dirt and to polish is all on the exterior of it anyway. So whether it is a 350 GSM or a 260 GSM, it's 100% synthetic, fully bordered. The durability of the wiper is not going to be much different. Synthetics do not wear out easily. The absorption capacity is slightly less with the thinner one, but the durability will last, the standard claim in a microfiber cloth is that it'll wash 200, 300, 400 times. Now we make no claims because we don't test this, but it is made from the same products that other people are claiming 200 to 400 washes, depending on how it's treated. Importantly, when you're teaching your clients about microfiber, they need to follow the washing instructions on the back of the label. This will help allow the microfiber to achieve its full longevity, its full life. If washed correctly, these can last years and years and years and years. So in your particular case, what you need to know is it is to be washed in warm water, warm to hot water, with no bleaches. It's not necessary, although some people bleach it and claim it has no effect on it. Key to it is to never wash it or dry it with softener. The softener will block those grooves that we talked about that are here. It'll block them up and stop the performance of the microfiber, and now not allow it to trap the dirt the way that we're claiming gives us this high performance. So washing instructions are very important. It needs to be explained to your client how to wash these in order for them to get the full value.
So Mark mentioned a little bit earlier on about GSMs. And while we do sell 260 GSMs, which is grams per square meter again, it is important to note that our competition might not necessarily adhere to those parameters. So the name of the game here is comparing the right product with the Wipeco product. In other words, while you're going to market, sometimes you'll hear some of your competitors say, oh, I'm buying it at this price, or I'm buying it at that price, a price that seems maybe unreasonable to you or unattainable based on our current price list. But what you have to ask yourself is, what GSM is it? Some of our competition will go lower than the products that we have, and some will go higher. But in the cases where you find clients that are, the prices that are more aggressive than ours, quite often I would ask you to look at the GSM first before saying that our pricing is not competitive. We're very aggressive in our purchasing and our selling of microfibers, and so we're confident that the prices that we put out there are very competitive. Not to mean that nobody can beat our prices, but it simply means that you need to be aware of this because there is often some cheating. Sometimes also you will find cheating in the percentage of polyamide versus polyester. Some of our competitors will go down to as low as 15% polyamide in the microfiber, or even zero. We've seen some of them go to 0% polyamide. So these are all things you need to be aware of as you're speaking to clients and going through some of the objections that you will get when presenting this product.
Another thing to look for is size. We've talked about Wipeco having overseas inspection capacity, people working for us full time, and quality control. Like anything, you get what you pay for. In this particular case, we've experienced in our growing pains of imports, where we're promised a size 14-14 or a 16-16, and they knock off about 15% of that. By knocking off an inch in one direction or a half an inch in all directions, it makes a huge difference in terms of the cost. So you have to really know what size you're quoting against and ensure that it is the size that they make claims on as well, because that is another way of cheating.
So what are the sizes that we offer?
Well, the smallest size that we carry currently is 12 by 12 in stock in about 5 or 6 different colors. And that would offer, for people who are doing promotions or want to have a hand-sized wiper. So again, we talk about surfaces, and like with any wiper, you're basically trying to cover your hand. In this particular case, if you're dealing with a 12 by 12 wiper, you cover your hand with one surface, one thickness. And the bigger the size of your hand, or the bigger size of the wiper, you can create more surfaces. In this case, here's a 1414, which is perfect for my size hand. I can create 8 surfaces. Person who has a bigger hand or wants to cover more surface area at a time with a one-hand stroke can do a 16-16 and still get the 8 surfaces we talked about in the past. So we have 3 sizes available in our standard: 12 by 12, 14 by 14, and 16 by 16. And then also in a one color program, we have a 24 by 24 for more as a drying towel, whether it be a camping towel or for drying down cars. We carry that jumbo size as well.
Now you mentioned colors, Mark. What are the colors that we carry, and why do we carry different colors?
Well, I'll answer the why first, because when you're dealing in the Jansan industry or in the hospital where microfiber is very, very important, actually let me take one step back. Why is microfiber very important in these particular applications? The selling feature behind microfiber originally was that it was a chemical-free wiper. You can dampen it and go and use it in the same applications where you're using a Windex or a chemical, and it would clean that surface just as well as a regular cotton terry towel or a cotton wiper would with the chemicals. So first of all, it's supposed to save you money on using chemicals, or you get to use less of it because of its cleaning effect of the fiber itself. So there's that, and then there's the longevity component of it, which was very important. And getting back to your question, Danny, what were the colors and why so many of them? Anti-cross contamination is the key. In the Jansan industry or in the hospitals, they don't want to use the same wiper in the kitchen as they do the bathroom or in the rooms or in the operating rooms. So each department has a different color assigned to it. For instance, red would be assigned for everything to do with the bathrooms, and the green would be assigned for everything to do in the kitchens, etc., etc. For whatever reason, yellow became a very popular color in the automotive industry, and we see yellow being offered at large in the automotive industry across Canada. Blue, because blue is the most popular color in general, seems to be the most popular at large. Maybe it's because everybody likes blue, but the other side of it is that blue is associated with Windex, cleaning glass. And so in general, blue is used in the glass industry, and for that reason you see a lot of blue microfiber being sold.
So the colors that we cover to meet those needs are?
We have white, blue, yellow, green, red, and sometimes orange. And I say sometimes orange and sometimes pink because both of those colors are limited to certain sizes. 14, 14, 16, 16, I believe, are both offered, but we don't carry a lot of inventory, so it is one of those things that you need to be careful offering it when you're out in the marketplace. So we talked about types of microfiber in terms of the warp knit, which is the terry type. There are tons of other general purpose microfibers that are constructed differently. You will recognize, for instance, a waffle weave. We talked about thermal, waffle weave being the thermal construction. We don't carry it at this particular time. There is what we call a weft knit, which is more of a stretchy, elastic type of material. It tends to be a little bit less thick, but offers more of a general purpose wiper. We do carry that one in our automotive line, which we'll talk about later. We also, in terms of general purpose, have in the marketplace other knits like a rib knit, and the same thing you would see in any kind of knits, in terms of the t-shirts we talked about earlier. They're all available. But we have the most popular style, which is the terry knit. One thing I will qualify to anybody who's interested in these other type of knits is, because of the way our infrastructure is set up, anybody interested in any of these other products, it is available as long as they meet the MOQ, minimum order quantity. We can order any of these products overseas. Our factories that we do business with are buying these, are making these goods on a regular basis. We can piggyback our customers' requirements onto their production just about any time. So within a 60 to 90 day period, they could be getting the same product on a drop ship basis. We won't carry an inventory for them on a special order, as long as they meet the MOQ. And we can talk about MOQs at another time. So not only do we have the most popular style, but we also have popular styles in more specialty wipers. So specialty wipers in particular, I'll start with the glass microfiber. And what is a glass microfiber? It is the same material that you would purchase or receive when you buy your glasses at an optometrist. So that little wiper that you get to clean your glasses is made of a polyester polyamide finish, but more in a silky type of knit. And in this particular case, we carry it in an industrial quality. So we carry 1414 and 1616. It is much heavier than what you would get from an optometrist, and it is obviously a lot larger because basically an optometrist towel is about a quarter the size of this, if not even less. So an industrial window washing towel made with polyamide to give it high performance and chemical-free wiping for the glass industry. The other specialty wiper that we carry is our soft scrub. So this has one side microfiber, terry knit, and one side with a very soft plastic looping to give a scrubability. So the example I like to use in this is when you're dealing with acrylic tubs. Acrylic tubs, if you're using an abrasive cleaner, will scratch. Here's something that'll give you the performance that you need to get out that black stain around the tub without using chemicals. You get it wet and start scrubbing, it'll come off. A little bit of chemicals, of course, would help, but this will give you your soft scrub. So applications where you don't want to scratch, doing dishes and soft applications like acrylic, it's a very nice option for that for those uses.
We also have the sponge.
Yes, indeed. So this has been constructed to work in the kitchen, usually for doing dishes, where you have it's a 2-in-1, so it's a scrub pad on one side, what we call Lurex material. It's a very aggressive material, so if you're doing dishes, things like the scratch-free surfaces, while this is aggressive, it will not scratch those things. It'll get the material off, or get the stains off very readily. But I wouldn't use it on, say, your automotive paint surfaces or anything like that, because it will, for instance, remove your wax very, very readily. The other side is what we call a, sorry, I'm looking for a term now. It is called a pearl knit microfiber. So pearl knit, little bumps, very relatively smooth finish with the little bumps in there. Very nice performance. It's excellent for drying off counters and doing the smooth drying up process that you need in the kitchen, on kitchen counters and stuff like that. So one side for scrubbing your dishes and the other side for cleaning off the counters. Brings a lot of chemicals because of or water to the surface where you want to clean it with the sponge on the inside. It is a chemical resistant sponge, so when you're introducing chemicals into this, it will not melt like some sponges will, depending on the chemicals. So that's the Lurex sponge.
So what are, Mark, some of the formats that we offer for our microfibers, regardless of the sizes?
Most of the formats in the terry warp knit are 10 packs. So whether it be a 12 by 12, 14 by 14, or 16 by 16, they're all in 10 packs. Some 10 packs are clear bags. Most economical way to buy it is in a clear bag. Obviously there's no printing involved, there's no artwork involved. But we also have retail packaging, so that you'll see our new packaging as such. This is a 14 by 14, hanging up. Tells exactly what it is. Very attractive packaging that can go onto a shelf. So either clear bag or printed bag, a 10 pack in the warp knit. In the case of the glass microfiber, they're all bulk packed. There's no retail packaging in the multi-pack. The 1414 is a 10 pack. 1616 is a single pack. And then lastly, the scrub microfiber in the 1414 is a 10 pack as well.
So this concludes our training with microfibers. Again, if you have any questions, I refer to your managers or to Mark and I, who will be more than happy to help. Thank you.